We've been talking on this program about the upcoming race in Mississippi. It's actually tomorrow, the Republican Senate runoff election
Big race.
between the longtime establishment senator Thad Cochran and the Tea Party favorite Chris McDaniel. Now, this will be a close race because obviously the previous primary between the two was a close race because it warrants this runoff election. Now, Tea Party groups are calling for poll monitors within their ranks to get together and watch the polls tomorrow, this Tuesday. They need to make sure Thad Cochran doesn't cheat to win. And how? How is he going to cheat? Why, election fraud, of course. And you might be wondering, that's interesting. Is Mississippi the location of the one guy who apparently is a serial election fraudster who was responsible for, what was it, like 12, 8, 14, somewhere around that number, entirely of all the fraudulent ballots handed in for the 2012 presidential election? Maybe the one guy responsible for all those ballots, those fraudulent ballots, lives in Mississippi. And they're on the hunt for this one guy. This serial fraudster. Maybe that's what they're doing, which, sounds crazy, but at least they're going after the guy.
Right.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. They're afraid black people are going to vote for Thad Cochran. I'm being serious with you right now. Because Thad Cochran realizes he's up against the wall here in this battle against this Tea Party challenger, Chris McDaniel. So he's been outreaching to black Democrats. Basically saying, you can vote for us. Mississippi law allows you to vote in the Republican primary too, as long as you didn't already vote in the previous primary.
He's basically saying
so
there's
as long
an opportunity.
As so basically, if you sat out in the primary elections for this upcoming runoff, you can vote, whether you're Democrat, Republican, whatever party you're affiliated with. Again, as long as you didn't already vote in the primary. So he's saying to the black people in Mississippi, I am better for you than this Tea Party guy. If you haven't already voted, come vote for me. I will be better for you. As bad as I am, but I will be better for you. And the African-American community in this area of Mississippi has basically agreed. Bishop Ronnie C. Crudup Sr., a pastor of the New Horizon Church International in Jackson, told the New York Times this past week, in tough times, you've got to do some unusual things. You've got to be willing to cross the line sometimes and go over to some strange places for our interests. So basically, black pastors, specifically, are helping get out the vote because Cochran is the better man in the fight. And so black Democrats are expected to come out and vote for Cochran tomorrow. Now, what the Tea Party guy, Chris McDaniel, has done is he's gotten the Tea Party Express to rally together. McDaniel supporter Sue Barnett said that Cochran's campaign has hired a community organizer to pay blacks to show up at the polls on Tuesday. That's right. They believe black people will be paid to show up at the polls. I guess you get $10 if you vote. I don't know, but are you kidding me? So, to help battle this, they've gotten Ken Cuccinelli, the guy who was too conservative to win the 2013 Virginia governor's race, to help out because he now heads the Senate Conservative Fund. And along with the Senate Conservative Fund, Freedom Works, as I mentioned before, the Tea Party Express, and the Tea Party Patriots are joining together to deploy poll watchers in areas where Cochran has reached out to black voters. And they're basically going to watch black people vote because they think it's a fraud. Now, if this isn't a reminder of the voter intimidation and just, they just struggle African Americans still go through in, the South, Mississippi specifically here. I mean, this is just ridiculous. They're literally worried that black people are going to show up to vote. So they are making sure people will be there to try to intimidate them to not vote.
McDaniels represents traditional values.
Yes. Who was the guy who said that? Tillis? Was that
Oh,
Tillis?
the traditional populations.
Who was the guy who said that, though?
Tillis.
Tillis. That's what I was saying, yes. Yeah, this is just a traditional...
Well, I mean, because to be clear, like he's basically... Thad Cochran is basically saying, and you got to it, but he's basically saying, you can vote for me to not have a guy go to the Senate who is very arguably a neo-Confederate, as in actually a neo-Confederate, not a ultra-right-wing, not at all sympathetic to African Americans in his state, but a straight-up racist.
Listen. I know I, all the time, vote against your best interests, but I like you. That other guy, he don't.
No, I think, Thad Cochran would say, hey, there might be some things I'll do for my state. I mean, it is an interesting race because Thad Cochran is like, he's an old establishment right-wing guy, but he definitely has delivered some things for a place that really needs stuff delivered.
Yeah.
And, it's just amazing. I mean, it's amazing to think that, to kind of have the luxury to send somebody like McDaniel to Washington if you're in a situation like you're in Mississippi is mind-blowing.